We saw Jalen Clark on McKinley Wright, saw him late in the game. Did you like that? And is that something that could help Tiger defensively to keep him fresh on that end of the court and just fresher overall?
I like Jalen Clark guarding all five guys. If I could clone him and have him just guard 1 through 5, I would go for that. So, if he's in there, we're going to try to put him on, whoever we think their best player is for the most part. But yeah, anytime you can get Tiger a little bit of rest does help to your point.
Mike?
Hey, Coach. Obviously, this is a weird season with schedule changes and everything. Have you had to significantly change your weekly, management practice, getting ready for that? And has that been a positive or a negative for you?
Well, Mike, knock on wood, we have had no virus issues. So for us, other than we prepared for a few games, it didn't happen. But we haven't had the weirdness that other people have had. I will say, though, the disadvantage to that is there's teams that got a chance to get fresh. And you say, well, hey, we went a long time without practicing. Well, the challenge in my case is to keep my team fresh, because it's almost been, it's just been like any other. I mean, as far as we haven't missed practices. So that has been the only thing normal for us. So I'm used to that, right? So you got to keep your team fresh and not beat up. But there's been some teams that haven't had that. And it might have been a disadvantage for them at that time, but I think it helps them in March because their players are they're less prone to injury, then they're just not as beat up.
Tracy?
Hey, Mick, the fact that you've been scheduled to play Oregon a few times, does that help with your scout of them? Do you do more scouting? And what do you do against a team like with Duarte? I mean, is he possibly the most complete player in the league? And then,
Did you say Duarte?
Yeah, Duarte.
Yeah, I think, if I was a pro scout, I would take Duarte. If I was running a pro team, I would take him. I think he's the most ready-made guy. Evan Mobley's obviously the best prospect in our league, not close. But, I got a few friends in the league that do listen to me because I told them about guys like Jimmy Butler, who nobody wanted to draft. And I was in the Big East coaching against him. Duarte's ready-made. He knows when to shoot, when to pass. He's big enough, strong enough to play the 2. He shoots it at the percentage you need to shoot it at in the NBA to play the 2. And he's the best defensive guard in America, period. So, yeah, he's a problem. He's a big problem. And he's a problem on both ends of the floor, Tracy. He's a tremendous player.
So what do you, you've got him and Eugene, 2 of the top 5 scorers in the league. How challenging is that for you defensively, given what you have on defense?
It's extremely, matchups are everything. We struggle with Arizona State's quickness. So it's a definite concern. With Eugene, they move him around. So he sometimes he plays the 5. Obviously, when they play Chandler Lawson or Big Frank, then you're going to have Jaime or Jalen Clark probably guarding him, and he's a load in the post. He can really, and they know that, so they try to get him the ball. So definitely, they got to match up with us too. So there's always, they got to have somebody who can guard Cody, but they play a lot of matchup zones, so they have a lot of mismatches, and they try to use that to their advantage. But we definitely have some challenges from matchups, but we have that every game, Trace. Tigers obviously had a lot of tough matchups with point guards in our league from a scoring standpoint. So we're kind of used to it.
Let's go to Mark Anderson.
Yeah, hi, Coach.
Mark Anderson,
the Las Vegas.
Long time no see.
Been a while.
What's up?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the conference tournaments. I know in a podcast recently you expressed concern about even playing them. I just wondered, since then, have you heard anything to alleviate those concerns?
Oh, no, it's just my opinion. Look, kids want to play. My concern is are two things I asked my chancellor for back when we were lobbying our chancellors in the Pac-12 to be able to play before January. Was our kids wanted to have a season and a chance to earn an NCAA tournament bid, which we would not have had that if our chancellors wouldn't have given us that chance playing in November, December. So I asked for the chance to earn a bid, to have a season so we can earn a bid to the NCAA tournament. To me, I would think that I know there's people that think that it's safer to have the kids at the tournament where you have control of them, right? You know what hotel they're in and all that stuff. But I happen to have a lot of friends there, and, you know, I've been coming to Vegas a long time. So I don't know, but I think the Wet and Wild parties start this weekend in Vegas, right? It's pool parties begin and all that stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I'm half kidding, Mark. I just think I would, if it came down to it, obviously the NCAA tournament is more important than the conference tournament. You know, and I'm just extremely concerned about if you have a virus situation and it could cost you the NCAA tournament. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm not anti-conference tournament.
Great, thanks.
I'm just concerned about if, you know, something happens because you're traveling, you're in a hotel. You know, it's a big concern of mine. I would hate to see anybody in the whole country lose, by trying to play these games that, to me, I don't know how much they matter. You're talking to a guy that at Cincinnati, I was playing in the conference championship game 3 straight years, and I was told that our bid was on the board before we even tipped off on Sunday for our conference final. So it's like, what the hell are we doing here? I mean, so I kind of have that mentality a little bit. But obviously, look, if we come, we're going to try to win.
Thanks, Mike.
You got it. It's good to see you.
Same here.
Ben?
Just checking on Jalen Hill real quick if he's back. And then the other thing is the bench production against Colorado outside of Jalen Clark. I don't think anybody else scored. How do you balance kind of the fine line between letting guys on the bench stay in the game to get in a rhythm versus having to take them out when they're not adding much?
Yeah, it's tough. Dave's a big part of our team, and Jake. I got to get them in there. I think that, obviously you mentioned it earlier. I think Tracy mentioned it. Somebody's got to guard Duarte, and obviously Jules is the biggest, the best obvious candidate for that. So it becomes you're concerned on the defensive end. That's the biggest concern. And you're struggling to score. Tigers not having a great game. They're doubling Cody. So, you're trying to keep Johnny in there because he had 14 in the first half. So, it's a game-to-game thing, Ben, but that's on me because those guys, they're a big, important part of our team. As I told Dave today, man, he's got to keep his head up. It's nothing that he's done. I got to get him back in there and get him back in a rhythm.
And Jalen Hill?
Same, no change.
Mike, go ahead.
There you are, Mike.
Coach, have you Tiger and Jaime are playing more minutes than they did last season. You said that was a concern at the beginning of the season, but where you're at now with the roster, are you satisfied that they can at least get the job done in the minutes that you're requiring of them?
Well, yeah, I think, Jalen Clark's getting more minutes now for Jaime. That's going to continue. Tiger's the one that's tough, right? We don't have another natural point guard on the team. So it's hard to get him out of there at times. But I do got to get him rest. I just think we're better when I get him some rest. I should have rested him more at Colorado, where I got Dave in there and let Jules guard McKinley Wright more. If I was being honest with you, and telling you, when I go back, I'm hard on myself. What could I have done a better job of? Maybe helped. Got a bigger guy on to McKinley Wright at times. although he scored on all of them. And then I'm a big believer that guy can give you just as much in 30 minutes as he gives you in 35. And he might even be better in his 30 if you can get him some rest and get him down from 35.
Any other questions for Coach?
Nope, there's Ben's hand again.
Oregon, fifth, I think this is going to be their fifth game in 10 days as they try to make up these games here. How do you kind of look at that, facing them in that situation?
I mean, what's this? They play at 6 tonight, right, Ben? So this will be their, I don't know. They played a lot of games. I would say if you polled my players, they'd rather be playing than practicing. But the emotion of the game, hopefully they're a little tired, emotionally drained is what concerns me. When you're a coach, I think your team, college basketball is so not like the pros. Like sometimes you guys see the pro game because, we're in LA, there's just some scores. It's like, what the heck is that? And it's your team just emotionally on empty. Because they play so many games. So maybe that'll be a fact, but maybe that'll be at work to our advantage Wednesday, but I don't know, Ben, because, it's the last week of the year and Oregon's playing for a conference championship. So, Duarte's playing for the NBA draft. I just don't know if that'll happen. I think we'll probably still get their best shot.
Liz Habib, go ahead.
Hi, Mick. Hey, I was listening to you to answer the question about the Pac-12 tournament, and you said if we go. Is there still a question as to whether you will go?
No,
okay,
yeah, no.
So okay, and your concerns.
I'm trying to, not obviously got to test negative to play, so I'm knocking on my desk here.
Yeah, and your concerns make complete sense. So, is there anything extra? You've done so much just to mitigate this issue. Is there anything extra? Anything you're telling the players? Anything now that you really have to ramp up to make sure everyone comes back with negative tests?
I mean, our guy. Well, I think some of it's luck. I know some people that completely have locked themselves. I mean, not like Mike Warren, who played at UCLA. I have to drive every now and then. I drop groceries into his bomb shelter in Woodland Hills in his backyard. But, I think we got to just keep doing what we're doing and get lucky too. I think there's been, there's some people. I read Bill Plaschke got it, and he was a lockdown guy, and he randomly got it, months ago. So you just never know. But yeah, I mean, we talk about it. Trust me, our guys, I mean, they know that we've done so much sacrificing to get to this point. You got a chance to win a conference championship, then you got March Madness. But I do think that, luck, there is luck involved, right? I mean, that the wrong person gives around the wrong person and you just don't know. But I can tell you, and I don't know if Alex has ever put it out. Like we haven't used our film room or our locker room all season. Our guys have a chair in the gym, 15 feet apart. We're never in the same, unless we have to watch film, other than when we watch film and we space the chairs out there and put masks on. But it's still random. So, but yeah, we're going to do the best we can, but I still think that you could just be unlucky.
Then you've said this is a really important week. It is Oregon USC. And I heard Jalen Clark say after Colorado that you guys knew that USC lost. And so you had this opportunity to go up on them, in the division. But do you think what I'm asking here is, do you think that was in their heads? Do you think it got on their minds when you guys had those breakdowns, the individual play at the end of the game? Had that played any factor at all?
Zero.
Okay.
I would say that Jalen Clark knew they lost. I would say some of our guys didn't know. I know we didn't bring it up. Like we never talk about stuff like that. We take every game individually to give our best effort to win that game. So yeah, we don't even talk about that.
Let's go to Rick Kimbrell for one more.
I would say the answer to that, Colorado was the problem. I think I get upset, but one of many things I learned from Coach Pitino. Too many coaches get pissed off at their own team. And the truth is, McKinley Wright played great, and they ratcheted up their defense, took away our first look. So, I think they were the problem. Got to give the other team some credit when they play well. I think, to me at least.
Mick, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Rick?
Hey, when you sign a guy like Nix, who's doing pretty good in the G League, how hard is it to get an insurance policy for a point guard?
Impossible. I mean, who are you going to get at that point? The problem is, Rick, say you take a guy that's really a mid-major player, just so from an insurance standpoint, like to what you said. Okay, he doesn't play much, and then you recruit over him. Is that really right? I mean, I know we got to win, but I'm obviously trying to think long term. And then you maybe can't sign a certain player because you have a point guard, but yet maybe he's not the guy that can help us get to a title, which is, the mindset. So, does that guy really like when I got the job and you guys were all asking me, we got to get another point guard. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? We're not winning a title my first year. Let's get Dave, Jules, and Tiger as much playing time as we can. We're still going to try to win, but we weren't winning the title last year. In fact, nobody was going to win it. They didn't play it, but I didn't know that. But my mindset. See, I'm just trying to. So, hey, it's almost impossible. I mean, who are you going to go get after, other than maybe some stopgap guy? Again, he takes away from other people's development, and then you maybe can't sign who you want to sign in the next class.
Do you consider the portal?
Oh, you got the portals. That's a whole. When the season's over, man, we're going to have a long Zoom press conference on the effects of the portal. I'm sure football's dealing with it. Although they've postponed that rule. I wish they just get it over with. But you never know how the portal's going to affect you either way, right? Who's going to be available? Who you might lose. So if it becomes a free agency type of situation. But yeah, Rick, you got to consider everything, man. It's, I know Coach, I believe in development, and, I love coaching guys that have always played for the same team. It's really been helpful for me. But transfers have helped me. Kyle Washington was big for me at Cincinnati. So was Kane Broom. I've had a lot of JUCO guys too in my career. So, you're going to have to consider it.
All right, we've got one more from Ben.
I wanted to lob this because I don't know if we're going to get you again before SC, but you're used to having a full week for SC. How does this game being thrown in here kind of change rivalry week and the whole dynamic of that?
Probably too much time, to be honest with you. I kind of like it now. Guys, keep a game, try to stay in some sort of game rhythm. But it's fair because they play as well on Wednesday. I don't like the fact that we have to go to Eugene twice, and so, I'm hopefully at some point Oregon will play at UCLA in my career at UCLA.
All right, we'll wrap.
It'd be nice, Ben. I mean, as much as I know Oregon's got a lot of nice Pinots up there, I don't have time to go pick us anything. So I'll leave you with, Peak Valley Ranch and Barbara. Okay. Remember that one. Very affordable, high quality.